The source code is the most traditional form of software installation. Back in the day, that was the only way new software was distributed. Originally, that was exactly the philosophy of free and open software. That complete source code of each application was to be published, so that you could change it, customize it, and run it on your copy of the system, whether or not it had been originally designed for your computer platform. As you can guess, this form of software installation is quite inconvenient. A lot of things can go wrong. It requires a lot of work and inordinate amount of time. You need to compile the source code, which usually comes in the form of a text file, into a binary form the computer can interpret and execute. Moreover, this method requires you to adapt your system to the requirements of a given application. This form is now rarely used. This does not mean that applications are no longer distributed in this way. On the contrary, every Linux program is available first and foremost as a raw source code. Whether or not it becomes available in any other form of distribution is really up to the creator's goodwill. Usually, it's either individual programmers or developers of Linux distributions that deliver software in an already compiled, easy-to-install form. Today, the vast majority of Linux applications are available in the binary form as well. Only very alternative or very new projects are available solely as a source code. This form of distribution requires much effort on the part of the end user. For the first few times, trying to install a program using only the source code may feel very inconvenient. If, however, you do it on a daily basis, you'll have all the additional libraries and compilers already pre-installed. Thus, each subsequent installation boils down, in fact, to executing 3 commands. Of course, there's always a risk that you miss something, that something goes wrong, and you will have to solve the problem. The issue of a program's dependencies is usually solved through additional libraries. When a program is available as a source code only, it usually comes with a special piece of software called configure. It checks whether your system is equipped with everything needed for the program to work, and informs you if you're missing something. Sometimes, however, this information is not explicit enough. Then you have to install everything manually. Fortunately, unlike in Windows, the problem of different and possibly competing versions of the same library does not occur in Linux. While the software is being compiled, it will adapt to the version of the library that is available in your system. However, sometimes a new version of the library will include a completely new functionality that previous versions lack. In this case, you usually should update the library. It will not harm already installed applications in any way, and it will allow you to install new ones. If you have thus prepared your system, you can generate the binary executable form of the program with a compiler. Currently, the most popular compiler is GCC. It supports every programming language and allows you to compile every application. As you can see, it all takes a lot of work. Compilation itself takes time. As we mentioned at the beginning of this course, it would take you about 3.5 days to compile OpenOffice version 1, which is smaller than the currently used version 3. Unfortunately, it takes a lot of time. However, it has its advantages. First, if you compile an application manually and select right compiling options, it will always work more efficiently than the one that you downloaded already in the pre-compiled form, whether as a binary file or packages from repository. Compiling manually, you can also tailor the application to your needs. If you know you're not going to need some part of the application, for example, support of a certain file format, you can always disable it in the compilation process. This will reduce the size of the application, which is especially useful in the case of an embedded system, where you have to do without terabytes of disk space or gigabytes of RAM. In such a situation, compilation is an essential solution. It should be done by qualified people. However, you won't really use it on your home computer, unless you want to get to know the system inside out. Then, this form of software installation is highly recommended for you. Some distributions don't even allow the other forms of installation. One such company is Gentoo. Most of the software it produces is available only as a source code. The user must then compile the code him or herself, using certain automated scripts.